Okay, so this is the second video where we're finishing up project 2 for cit121. We have joined the domain, and this is not a domain user. Local admin is not a domain user. So in order to get policies pushed out, we can do two things. We can log in as a domain admin, not advisable, or build a user. So let's just build a user. In order to do that, I'm going to go in my Active Directory server. Let's do some visual tearing there, and go to Active Directory users and computers. So I'm going to set up the area for me to do this test, to push out this group policy object. Okay, and this is fairly common. This is something you would do in IT. You would push out before you pushed out a policy, you would do your work and make sure that the policy is going to work the way you think it's going to work, right? So I could create the user directly. I could go into users and create it there, or I could create it directly in a OU. So let's actually make the OU first. I'm going to do Active Directory Administration Center. Let that load up. It is a resource hog, and we're going to go in there. And I'm going to right click, select New, OU, Organizational Unit. Or I could use my PowerShell from the first project. But in this case, we're going to do experiment pro2. Let's just call it just pro2 for project 2. All right. So we're going to do pro2. Okay. There I go. I have it. I'm going to hit OK. There's nothing too fancy about that. There's project 2. Now I have an OU for that, and I'll be able to do things like tie a GPO to it. Let's close out of Active Directory Administration Center. It's a resource hog, and we're going to close that, and we don't want to slow down our system. Now back in Server Manager, now I can go to Active Directory users and computers. Right? Make sure we create this in Active Directory and not the local computer. So now I can make a new user in my OU. That's what I did. I went into the OU and I selected create a new user in that OU. We're going to call this user first name test, and no initials, but we're going to do McTesty. Test McTesty. Okay. Let's do for the login name TMC Testy. TMC Testy. All right. So there's TMC Testy. That's what the username is going to be. We don't have initials. It's fine. Next, password. We're going to do user can't change password. Password never expires. Let's make the password T3STY Testy with an exclamation point. I don't know if that's going to be complicated enough for it. Probably not. I don't know. It's not long enough. I know right off the bat. We'll call it Super Testy. Super. We'll just do lowercase test T3STY exclamation point. Super testy. Super testy. Let's do that again. Super testy. 3STY exclamation point. Fantastic. Let me put that in my notes. In this case, this was the user I did the first time. This time we're going to do it proper. Well, we're going to do a different one. So this one we did, was it lowercase? I think it was lowercase. So we'll put the password in. Super with a 3 testy. There you go. All right. Hopefully it accepts it. There we go. Full name is going to be TM test, all lowercase. That's fine. TMC Testy Super Testy. There we go. All right, finish. We have our user, Test McTesty, or TMC Testy. All right, let's close that out. All right, before we even log in, we could log in right now by clicking other user and typing in Testy. If I wanted to be super accurate, I could type in the full UPN, the full name. But instead, what I'm going to do is let's do the policy. Let's set up the group policy. Let's get all one whack. Also, what I'm going to need to do is download those files. So in project, I worked hard and made beautiful, just gorgeous. I mean, just awe-inspiring desktops for you to have our users use. Now, Again, depending on whether or not your student number is odd or even, it's going to dictate which one you should download. If I go to projects and project 2, so here are the 2 desktops. I already have them on this machine because this is the machine I made them in. They're under pictures. I'm under utility, cit121. There they are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag those over to my server, and because I have drag drop enabled, I'm pretty sure. I'll verify. Devices, drag drop is disabled. We're going to make it enabled. I'm going to put them in. I'm tempted to put them here for a minute under administrator, but actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go under public users because I'm going to have to share these out. Public pictures. And now I can drag and drop those over. So I'm going to go over here and drag and drop those pictures over. Awesome. Works well. Good. So now I have those 2 pictures there on my server. I'm going to have to share those out. So what I have to do is create a share. Over in users, public pictures. I'll share out this directory. So I'm going to go properties. I'm going to share it. Before I share it, so that way there's no errors, before I even do that, I'm going to go to actually the security. And this is, I mean, what we're going to do is we're going to allow Active Directory users, I think. So, well, we'll just do everyone. We'll again, this is for experimental purposes. And there's no instructions otherwise in the project to do something else. So we're going to do everyone, and we're going to just give everyone read access. So they read, execute. That's fine. Apply. All right. So now they have permissions to read and download those pictures from NTFS. Now I have to set up my SMB share, server message block share. So I go to sharing. I'm going to click on advanced sharing. We're going to share it as pictures. I like that. That works. Permissions, we're going to let everyone read it. That's awesome. Hit apply, hit OK. It's now a share. Okay, there's my shares. And if I really wanted to be detailed about it, I can go check out my shares by going to my local server. Actually, go file and file print services and click on shares. And I should see it here. There it is, pictures. All right, so there we are. Close out the server messages. That's good. Group policy, back to group policy editor or management. Excuse me, group policy management. I'm going to click open the forest. I'm going to go down to this domain, which is my 106.inc, 106inc.local. You're going to be 121inc.local. And I'm going to go select the OU pro2. I'm going to right click on it, select create a GPO in this domain, and link it to that OU. So anyone, we haven't decided if it's users or computers yet, but I'm going to click OK here. And what that did was I created a new group policy object that I did not name for some reason. So let's just name it now. That was a mistake on my part. How about, actually so much so that I'm going to delete this. So I'll just call it delete for now. I'm going to right click and delete that. We'll delete that link. And then if I really want to delete it, I can go here to this new object I didn't delete or didn't name and delete it. I could also rename it, but we'll do it this way. Pro2, create GPO. There you go. That's where I should have named it. I was too busy talking. So we're going to call it Pro2 GPO, and then what we're hoping to do is set desktop. There we go. I don't have to put set desktop. I mean, I could just do Pro2 GPO, and it keeps it shorter. I kind of like, I've talked myself into it. So there we go. Pro2-GPO. Hit OK. All right. Or you could be super descriptive of it and have multiple GPO. Again, for this experiment, we're just trying to get this working, right? All right, so now what we need to do is make it so this person, the client, can see those files. Right now, that client can't get to those files. So the quickest, easiest way to do that is to go down to it's preferences. That's where I was messing up. Windows settings. So, we're going to do this to the user too, right? Right now it's be useless because my computer isn't in. The computer object does exist in Active Directory. It's just located. It's located in it's located under the default folder for computers right now, so it would be useless. So it's going to have to be under user configuration because I want the user it to affect the user. We're going to map a drive. So any user that's in that OU is going to map this drive. We're going to make a new map drive. We're going to give it the location of, and we have to give it the UPN of my share, which I can. How about this? I'll do this much more slow, high-speed load. I get SMB shares. There we go. SMB share, not plural. That's the one I want. Pictures, and it doesn't have the share name. That's disappointing. But that's life. All right, so I'm gonna just get it from here. So I'm gonna go into the directory and go into users, public pictures. Right click on that, properties. Go to sharing and get that share name. There I am. There's my UNC. Right. So I got the UNC now. I can go into. I might as well close that. Go back to making a drive. Where was it? New drive. There it is. I alt tab to get over there. Label it as domain pictures. Domain pics. Yep. All right. Well, update. That's fine. They like to use update as the default. That just means it'll create it. It'll update it if it changes. Pictures. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. 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 Apply. There. So now the client should see that drive. If I log in and I want to verify, I do other user. It was TMC Testy and Super Testy. Exclamation point. And I'm logging in as Test McTesty. There I am. So that was not created on the local machine. Right now it's building its profile in the background, doing this sleight of hand nonsense where it's making me feel nice and warm, even though it's creating, instead of making me wait. So there you go. It's actually smart user manipulation on their part. But it's creating the profile in the background. And as part of that, it's running my login script, which is creating the drive mapping, which is what I'm really interested in. Now that we have that drive mapping, we're going to do this the right way. I'm going to actually create files. You don't have to do this. You could just link it to the map drive and tell the desktop, hey, use it. What's in that map drive? Let's verify that map drive showed up. Since I saw it pop up, it would be under this PC, and there it is. I got my shared drive. Awesome. All right. So the next step, I'm going to copy the files over. Sorry, I'm good that way. Because that way, if the person takes the computer offline, they would still have our awesome looking desktop, right? So this is from the perspective of the client. So the source file is going to be from my P drive. And it's going to be, let's just get the name. Why don't we'll work smarter, not harder here. And I'm going to go to the other virtual machine. And, whoop, stupid thing. I closed it. I'm going to go to my P drive and get the file name. So the full file name here would be P / and then this is a JPEG file. So properties. Alright. So we'll alt tab over, get that up. So P / that's the file name, .jpeg. And we're going to put it in the C drive, users, /public, /pictures, and we're going to give it the same file name, .jpeg. There we go. Sure, we'll make it read only. That's fine. Let's apply. I think that looks right. And then we're going to do the same thing. I think I can actually copy it and paste it and then rename it to the other file. You don't have to do this. You only have to do the file you're interested in. 1 is odd, 1 is even. Parity, non-parity. All right, I'm going to edit this now and change this to a 1 and change this to a 1. So I think, again, I'm doing this kind of on the fly. If I do a GP update over here, PowerShell, I'm on the client right now, and if I do a GP be update, group policy update, force it. It should copy those files over. We'll see. I got my drive mapping. And if we go to the C drive, and we go to users, and we go to public and pictures, they're not there. So this is where we'd have to do some troubleshooting to figure out what's going on. All right. And again, this is something you would have to do. Source. It's from the client's perspective. I think that should work. Case doesn't matter what Windows, and that's the right directory. Maybe I have to do a full reboot too. Sometimes that happens. I mean, I can copy that over. Anyway, that's part of your troubleshooting. The final step would be actually setting the desktop. I'll show you where to do that and how to finish up this project. All right. In that case too, I'll show you the shortcut method. But in a perfect world, that's what I would do, is get the files copied over. That way it would work when it's even offline. So if I go to desktop, up in administrative templates, so under user, under administrative templates, under desktop, I click on desktop, desktop wallpaper, right? I can tell it to enable it. I can point it. In this case, I'm going to cheat and do this. The name was 121 Inc. And we'll do 2. We'll do the parody one, 2. And it was JPEG. And we're going to do stretch or tile or whatever you want to do. We'll do a fit. I don't know, fill. Span. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. It'll stretch it out, I think. But, all right, so we'll hit that. I'm going to hit OK. All right. I've set that now. Let's try rebooting this. Let's do a shutdown. Restart time 001, and it'll restart that desktop. Alright, we'll see if that policy gets pushed down. Hopefully I didn't have any typos in there. It happens. It's in the P drive, 121 Inc. I don't think I added any more descriptors to that file. Shooting there from the hoop. Now the hip. So this is where you would do any troubleshooting to figure out where you've gone wrong. Supra tester. Exclamation point. Let's see what happens. Awesome. There you go. There's my super desktop. So the other piece of evidence you need that you did this is you're going to have to use... Sure. Okay. I guess I need to close this. All right. We'll close that. We'll close this. The other thing I would need is my GP, an export of the GP of the group policy. So that command, make sure I get it right, is I didn't put it here. That's right. I put it in the project itself, I think, which was weird. I should put that in my notes. And it somehow ended up with a space in there. Things went a little haywire. All right. There we go. Get GPO report. Now we're going to have to get the GUID, the Global Unique Identifier. And we want to set the report type as HTML to make my life easy. So let's grab this. Actually, I'll grab all this. And I'm going to go over to my virtual server here. Another server. Now it's much more easy to discern them apart. And I'm going to paste that in. I am not going to paste that in. It won't play that game. Oh, likey. All right, fine. Get group policy. No, not inheritance. GPO report, I think it was. Yeah. We're going to do the GUID. Now, to get the GUID, what I need to do is actually go back into, there's DHCP configuration, go back into the group policy manager, so, not PowerShell. I could run it for PowerShell, but server manager. I'm going to bring up server manager, and then I'm going to bring up tools and group policy manager, and I need to, now if I right click on this, no, I'm sorry, I want to do the, so if I go into the group policy objects container and go into the pro2 GPO and I go into details, there's going to be the GUID. So again, we're going to work smarter, not harder. I'm going to copy that and we're going to paste that into there, and then we got to do report type. report type, all one word, I suppose. I should check my notes on that. Yep, report type, all one word, and we're going to make that HTML. So we're going to HTML, and then we're going to redirect it over to a file. So we're going to redirect it into users, administrator. What is going on? Administrator. Okay, good. It took it. And then we'll put it in documents. There you go, documents. I'm tabbing out, by the way. That's what's going on. And the name of the file will be pro2 GPO report. Seems like a fine file name. .html or HTML is fine. All right, so I'm going to do that. I run the program. I don't get an error. That's a good thing. I go down to that file, and now I have a file in my documents of my called GPT-0 Pro that will open up in a browser. That will let me, as your instructor, look at your GPO, all your settings in your GPO, and grade it. And I would say, I don't think this one would work because of your issues. So there you go. All right. There's that. And finally, what you would need to do to submit is a lovely screenshot of my beautiful desktop. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Of that desktop and the other desktop, which I could demonstrate. It's funny it's not showing up there. I would think because it was under public, it would show up in everyone's public pictures. Oh, I didn't copy it over. That's why. Yeah, that's still. I'd have to play with that, figure out what's going on there. That was even, and this was odd, which I think is actually prettier. So, we'll open up in photos. There we go. So your desktop with one of these two desktops. Isn't that odd? All right, there you go. Fantastic. All right, so that's what you do to finish the project. Otherwise than that, let me know if there's any questions or if you're running into any issues, and I'll help you out. All right, good luck. Bye.